Hey everyone, welcome to our first afternoon session. Hope you all had a bite to eat and you got to visit the exhibit hall. Our first live session of the afternoon is a TOC presentation veteran, Diane Sutton. Her presentation, Professional Presence and Soft Skills Still Count. Say that 3 times fast. She's going to bring that to us. A little bit about Diane. She's followed her passion for enhancing the effectiveness of people in the workplace as Sutton Enterprisers. She has researched, designed, and delivered programs and workshops on a variety of employment issues to diverse audiences for 3 decades. Diane's career includes 12 years of experience in the federal government, 4 years as an elected advisory neighborhood commissioner in Washington, D.C., 15 years as an adjunct professor, and a TOC registrant for 30 years. She is well known for her humor, honesty, and refreshingly down-to-earth messages, her straightforward approach to career and employee management, and her ability to engage her audiences have resulted in decades of requests to share her expertise. So I know that Diane's session is very interactive, so I want to remind you, you can use the Q&A feature on the blue bar under the video. You can make the video larger by clicking on the arrows right above the video, and you have the chat. So without further ado, Diane Sutton.
Okay, thank you so very much. Welcome, folks. I want to thank Dr. Cheryl. She has been on her job. She really helped me. Check out the picture. I put this deliberately because this was a year, one of the years that I presented at TOC. I can't tell you what year. Oh, and I can't tell you what I was talking about, but I thought I'll let you know that I've been doing this for quite some time. However, I'm semi-retired. I have no goal of becoming rich and famous anymore. It just doesn't work for me anymore. But I'm doing a lot of things, and I thought I could slow down, but I'm getting a whole lot of different calls from organizations. They keep contacting me. But I'm doing a lot with professional presence and executive coaching, just to let you know. Let's get started. I am your presenter. This is what I bring to the table. I'm also known on the internet as Lady Di. I still have my Sutton Enterprises website. I'm going to be changing it, kind of modifying it, tweaking it. What do I bring to the pay? Knowledge. I added up all the years that Dr. Cheryl mentioned, and that means I have at least 61 years in the business, which meant I had to start a year when I was a child. Okay, but that's where I am right now. But what I want to do is I want to welcome you. Okay, I do want to welcome you. And I want to use chat for a second. I do want to use chat for a second. And if you'd be kind enough to on chat, give your name, your organization, and your geographic location. And you know, I don't mind modeling the behavior. I'm Dr. Floyd's bouncing baby girl from Houston, Texas. Sutton Enterprise, and I put out fires. And just a little bit about me while you're typing. I worked in leadership development for quite some time. I started out as my career at the EEOC. Okay.
So we have Deirdre Welcome from Concerning Learning from Camp Springs, Maryland. We have Eric Fielding from NTSB in Herndon, Virginia, and Stephanie Campbell from the Department of Treasury in Maryland. We have Cindy Nees from the Bureau of Economic Analysis in Stevensville, Maryland.
Okay, well, welcome. All of you are so welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. A little joke, something that I share with you that I would not recommend other people do. And that is when you go to a job interview. And how I started out is that I was a junior high school math teacher, and I was doing my graduate work at Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. And someone told me about a job with the government. And I said, okay, I'll do anything. I'll try anything. And I was teaching junior high school math. And I went to the interview and I only asked one question. And I said, do I have to work with teenagers? And they said, no. And I said, this is great. I can do this. Well, what I didn't realize I would be doing would be investigating charges of employment discrimination in the state of Missouri and Iowa. And that was the most eye-opening experience I had. So I wanted to share that with you. And yes, it was before the internet. Yes, it was. I did not know where to go. It was before the internet. Okay. Do I have any other people that have come on board?
We do. We have Deborah Williams from DOJ in Quantico, Jesse Bennett from FAA in Bridgewater from their home office, and I think I already mentioned Stephanie Campbell from Department of Treasury, and
Right.
from Fairfax, Virginia.
Okay. Well, thank you so very much for being here. Let's get started. Our discussion today are centered around questions. Okay, are centered around questions. How are we defining soft skills? Because when we say, I've been dealing with soft skills for over 30 years. So I'll share my experiences with you, but how are we defining them today? Today, as we go into post-COVID, well, how are we defining it? Should we retitle them? Should I hire because they have the hard skills, or should I hire because they have the soft skills? Okay. And what are your top 5 soft skills that you have? Because soft skills are like things that you have for running an engine. You know, the engine's got to run well, but you know, parts will go and you need more oil. So soft skills you have to continuously renew. Now, here's a question for our focus. How has COVID-19 impacted employee soft skills? Okay. Where do you start? And what are these implications to organizations? So I'm going to share my slides. I'll try to allow time for you to type if you have some concerns or you have questions. Okay. So let's get started. Oh, here we go, everyone. Let me go back. Oh, my slides are going faster than I want to go. Here, I want you to stretch. I want you to stretch. I want you to put your arms out. If nothing else, roll your shoulders back 4 times. The chiropractor and I are very good friends. So I told him I was doing this and he told me some things I can tell you to do. Okay, that'll keep you going. You'll see little signs like this as we go. I saw this. I don't know why this is happening, Cheryl, but I'll work with it. I saw this and I thought I'd like to share this with you. And here's some food for thought. Is this really true? Now, in the leadership development courses that I was teaching, I talked about a formula for success where I said there were 3 things that you needed once you were in the organization. You established yourself, and those 3 things were performance, image, and exposure. And I kind of like this. Don't ask me where this came from. Okay, it's not my original thought, but I wanted to share this thought with you. What will be the formula for success as relate to soft skills and the hard skills and post-pandemic work culture? Let's call it a culture. Okay, and first of all, you notice that I have the word professional presence. These are just a few of the things that professional presence represent. A lot of times people think, oh, you're doing about dressing. No, it's much more than that. Okay. You know, because here's the truth. You could be butt naked. You could be butt naked on at home and have a picture up there. No one ever know how you're dressed. So I just wanted to put that there. Now, here are the soft skills. What do you think? Some people call them people skills, interpersonal skills, non-technical skills, emotional intelligence skills, and work relationship skills. And I want you to think about this. Do you have any ideas of what these skills should be titled? You know, we could get rich off of this.
So, Diane, Cindy Neves says cognitive and interpersonal skills.
Okay. Okay, anybody else? why I'm mentioning this and why this is important, because you know, if you're in the HR, human resource development, human capital field, it becomes very important. Let me go back. It becomes very, very important that you be able to sell this.
So Jeanette
yeah.
Passons says these are power skills.
Okay. So we've heard power skills. Okay. I've got one, I call them workplace competencies. These are workplace competencies. I was teaching for the University of Maryland, Maryland University College. They've gotten big time. They got big, their name has changed. But we were looking at competencies. We'd gotten away from just skills and just opposed to general knowledge, with specific competencies that someone would need in their whatever field or endeavor they were going in. So I think of soft skills as the competencies. So I'll talk about that more as we go on. But the term soft skills is very misleading. That's why I'm addressing this. And it's difficult to come up with a universal name for soft skills. But I always think of soft skills as skills not tied to one specific job or one specific industry, but general characteristics that help employees thrive in any workplace. Okay, let me see if I can keep these slow. So now, anyone want to talk about this? What's the difference between soft skills and hard skills? It's rude for everyone to speak at the same time.
So we got some folks typing. Hard skills are more technical in nature, says Cindy.
Okay. I paid Cindy to say that. I'll send you your dollar in the mail. Okay, just remember to send me your address and you get your dollar. Okay, but let's think about that. Let's think about it. This pandemic has created some radical changes that we're going to have to deal with in the whole concept of educating people. And just think about hiring people right now. Okay.
You know, Ruby Cooper made a good point that hard skills are considered more technical in nature, maybe based on a degree.
That's very true. That's very true. That's very true. Okay, anybody else?
Soft skills are more difficult to develop, says Deirdre. Deidre.
It is true. Wow. That, you know, since I've been in it, and you know, it's very strange. I'll share this with you. I was a math teacher, junior high school math teacher, so I was using that left brain. I mean, I had the formulas down. You got pre-algebra, you got algebra. Okay. But when you talk about soft skills, I had to start looking at this other side. So what I did is I've got a couple of slides for you. Here you go. And I'm pretty sure you have this in your handout. And this is what you had did. This is what you talked about. All of you talked about. Okay. Examples. I mean, active listening, resilience fall under soft skills. Or they even say political savvy falls under soft skills. Okay. Leveraging diversity falls under the soft skills, but the hard skills. Red Cross certification. Certification for programming language, forklift operator, IT skills, all these fall under that. And this, I really like this. You know how you pick up these wonderful, this is a wonderful illustration. Okay, this is a wonderful illustration. Now, are there any thoughts about this?
You know, Diane, Eric Fielding makes a good point. He says he calls soft skills transferable skills.
Okay, that's a good one. Everyone write that one down. Everyone write that one down. I don't know. Okay, I know. I got to go back. Everyone write that one down. Okay, everyone write that one down. This is my bad. Okay. Transferable skills. Now, this could really, I mean, if you're trying to sell soft skills, this is one area where this is one title or rename that can really work for you. Okay. It can really work for you. So I just wanted you to see it, visualize it. For many people, visualization is very important. So remember, this is what it looks like. And I'm pretty sure you have it in the handout. And we talked about the hard skills. So let's go on. Before we go any further, I don't know why it's doing this jumping, but before we go any further, let's talk about workplace competencies. Let's talk about workplace competencies. Now, you won't have this one. You can find this through going to opmpod.gov. But when I was doing leadership development, here were some of the core qualifications. Okay, and consider the competencies. Now, look over there to the competencies. So now we're back to those transferable skills. Okay, some people call them people skills. But people skills still sounds too soft for some people, okay? But I wanted to share with that. And remember what a competency is for the government. It's a measurable pattern of knowledge, skills, abilities, behaviors, and other characteristics that an individual needs to perform the work, the roles, the occupational functions successfully, okay? It's the how of how they're performing. It's the how of how they're performing. Okay. Before you take a stretch, before you do anything else, this is what I want you to do. Okay. Take a piece of paper and write down your 5 best soft skills. Remember, you want this engine to be fine-tuned. What are your best ones? Okay. And I'll share something. I really started off my career as a car hop in St. Louis, Missouri. I think I integrated it as far as a staff. And I would go out to the cars and they tell me what they want and then I bring it back, you know. And one thing, some things, I mean, I'm talking about some soft skills I picked up that I'm still working on, listening. So I think my 5 best soft skills are listening, interpersonal communication, problem solving, emotional intelligence, and resilience. And I think problem solving is a transfer over from that left brain side that was doing the math. Okay, because if you do an algebra and you have anything in an equation and you have anything in parentheses, you start with this most simplistic thing and go work, take the parentheses first and you work out. And I've done that with problem solving.
So Diane, Deidre says hers are agility, leadership, listening, problem solving, emotional intelligence, and team building.
Okay. Somebody else. I mean, it's a poor dog that won't wag his own tail. The dog, even as long as they're okay, they'll wag their tail. And you got to talk about what you got going for you. So every once in a while, you need to wag the tail. So I'm giving you a chance, an opportunity to wag your tail. What are your best 5? Anybody else?
So Stephanie says problem solving, effective communication, time management, leadership, and resilience. And Cindy says problem solving, ideation. Love that one. Leadership, team building, and agility.
Wow. If we had time, I'd hear some more about the ideation, but we've got to keep on going. Anybody else? Think about it. How have these skills enhanced your career? I just told you, from the very beginning, I had to listen as a car hop. What is your order? I have been taking that and I have been trying to enhance it over all the years. From a math teacher to an EEO investigator, I could understand. I was in systemic investigations. That's long-term where you study data. And it was because of my math background. Okay.
So Diane, some of the other ones that folks are adding, without repeating all of them, let's see, Ruby says negotiation, humility, and Eric added in flexibility and compassion, and Denise added in agility and negotiation, and wants you to know that she was a math teacher.
Okay. God bless your soul. God bless you. Okay. Let's continue on. See, again, this is something that you, if you are a supervisor, manager, you can do with your staff. The little bitty things, because everything is going to have to be a learning experience now, whether you're online or whether you're live. Let's continue on. Isn't this great? Oh, here we go. Take a stretch again. Put those arms out. Come on, come on. Okay, just a little bit of stretch. Okay, okay, okay. Let's continue on. This is what Eric was mentioning, and it's very important. They're transferable. Soft skills are transferable across careers and industries. They help people get hired, they help people stand out, and most of all, they help people get promoted. Okay? Now, what does this mean to employers? Let's look at this. What does this mean to employers? Okay? What does this mean to an organization? Here it is, that they have to identify people who are not just able to do the job, but they're also able to do it well. Okay? An example would be good time management skills. You know how to prioritize tasks to meet deadlines. You have to choose between qualified candidates who meet the typical requirements and those who have similar, they have a similar academic and professional background. Who do you hire? Okay. Do you hire for potential or do you hire for knowledge? Do you have someone who is just starting out, who is average, who is just zealous for knowledge? Or do you have someone who's already at the top of the pinnacle of the knowledge that they bring? Okay. What about making well-rounded hiring decisions? Okay. Not only do you want the person, let's just talk about sales, because sales are big right now. You talk about sales. You want someone who's also resilient, has strong interpersonal communication skills. You want to know that not only do they have experience in sales and might not have as much, okay, but they know how to deal with rejection and make it acceptance. These are things. And most of all, you have to evaluate candidates' cultural fit. This is so important. When I was really doing a lot of things, it was about orientation. Let me go back to this one. I don't know, okay. The orientation, okay, think about it. I want you to think about it. Orientation is one of the first places where you can find out if a candidate really fits after you've hired them, or even before you've hired them. Okay. Will they fit the organization? Now, let's do a brief assessment. I was going too fast. Brief assessment. Okay. Identify the top 5 soft skills critical to the mission of your organization. I want you to think about your organization and what are some of the most critical soft skills that are needed. Okay. If you can't identify 5, get 1 or 2. Okay. How many of these soft skills you listed are identified as employee competencies? Aha. That will be your key. And how is your organization? This is the last one. And you might not be able to answer, but it's food for thought. How is your organization addressing the development of these necessary skills and competencies? Cheryl, Dr. Cheryl.
Yes, ma'am.
I have something that says you're screen sharing. Should I be out of that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
But I will tell you that Cindy has said the competencies most relevant to her organization are time management, problem solving, leadership, and communication.
Okay. Somebody else? Anybody else? Are you listing these as employee competencies? So that you can get the buy-in for the money and all the wonderful things that go with it, this social or networking to get people into these courses. And I know this is going to be some of the issues that will come about as a result of we come out of this post-COVID environment.
So Ruby has said team building, negotiation, and problem solving.
Okay. Anybody else?
We've got critical thinking skills, emotional intelligence, and empathy.
Okay. Okay. Oh, empathy is a good one. Yeah. Okay. I think everyone, if you're still in the government or still working, you have to start developing emotional intelligence to survive. Okay. Thank you for sharing. But here's the question that you can take back. You know, you can take back and say, I went to this class and the woman asked, how is your organization addressing the development of the necessary soft skills or competencies that they're going to need in post-COVID? And that's what you're working on right now. Because it's not going to go back to any normal. The normal's gone. What's going to be the new normal? What's going to be the new culture of the organization? Let's go on. Has working at home, and I need to hear from you, enhanced or diminished employee soft skills? How? Now, many people say that people skills are rusty. But how? How have they enhanced it? Okay. I know a lot of people got a quick course on what did I want to say? On IT. So it did enhance the IT knowledge of a whole lot of individuals. Okay.
So let's see. Cindy says maybe enhanced communication because we all have to be very intentional. And Stephanie Campbell from Treasury, mine have been enhanced because I had to find different ways to connect to my team virtually.
Okay. Okay. What about your teams? What has been enhanced? We know their IT skills.
So Ruby is saying enhanced skills, especially IT, and doing more teams and virtual coffee chats and award ceremonies.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Well, look at what we're doing here. We're doing a virtual conference.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Okay.
Ooh, Dina makes a good one.
Okay.
Professional etiquette in a virtual meeting.
Yeah, you can go to my website. I wrote something on it in one of my blogs about things that people should do at a Zoom meeting or shouldn't do. That's a start for you. I always tell you to ask your people what bugs them or what they want, how they want their meetings conducted, and make those the guidelines. Just ask them, what bugs you when we have to have these meetings that people do that you don't want them to do anymore. And that really does help immensely, okay? Because now you've asked them, you've printed them. I mean, that people get to see them and they can make some decisions. This is the way we want to behave while we're online. Anybody else? Thank you for your cooperation. Okay, let's go on. I say that they complement each other. I say that the soft skills and hard skills complement each other, because you cannot have the hard skills and say, I'm a good manager, without having some soft skills. You'd be able to listen, to speak, to communicate, And I think in most jobs, there are some jobs probably that it fits. Technical skills alone are not enough to be truly effective. So I put this down here. I said for some employees, hard skills are useless without soft skills. Okay, if you can't talk to people, if you can't connect, if you can't empathize sometimes, okay, if you're not willing to listen, if you're not looking at problem solving, this could be a very issue. So again, stretch, let's stretch. Let me go back to it. I don't know what's going on, but we're making it work.
While folks are stretching, Dina has a question. People use the term soft skill professional development and organizational development interchangeably. Do you think they are the same?
No. What were the three? What were the three?
It was professional development, soft skills, and organizational development.
I think soft skills are part of professional development. I think organizational development is more looking systematically and looking at some true team building. Okay. So I don't think they're all the same at all.
Okay. And LaMarsha tells us that she's developing some new supervisory training that will include soft skills and leading through coaching.
Of course. I'm proud. I mean, that's it. You're going to, and you just slip them in, just put it all in and just, put them as part of the sessions, as part of a 5-day program online, whatever you're going to do, just put it in. You got to put it in. Okay. You're dealing with a different normal now. You're dealing with a different normal now. And you've got to understand that. How do you improve your soft skills? Well, I got a couple of things for you. What do you think?
Well, Diane, I'm going to give you an answer because I think this is something that a lot of folks may agree with. And while they're typing their answers, experiential learning. Best way to learn is by practicing.
It's very interesting because I was reading an article last night that simulations were going to become more important now in post-COVID education. Here are the ones I have for you. Become more self-aware, get feedback from others, cultivate your brand. When they came up with, who was that came up with the brand? I can't think of his name right now. He came up with brand new. And what did he say? He said that we were going to have to look at yourself as a brand and sell yourself just like you would sell anything else. Identify the skills you want to improve or develop. Okay, I mean, these are obvious. Okay.
So we have a couple here. Lanera says programs like TOC allow you to practice your soft skills. And Eric says, and I think this is so important, be receptive to feedback and keep an open mind.
Yep. Okay. You can, if you're in training, you can get your feelings hurt. When I first started, and I was doing technical training, and I was just really trying so hard. And you get an evaluation and said, hey, you're not all that. You okay. I didn't like you. And I would be devastated. I would want to go to a bar and get drunk because I knew that I was a terrible person. This one person out of maybe 25, 30 people said you sucked. So it is very important. I mean, this is one of those areas where people say, yes, I want feedback. But when they get the feedback, they don't appreciate it. So after a while, I realized, and the math teacher came to me. I said, okay, that's 1 out of 25. That's not a big number. And then I said, the rest of the people thought I was pretty cool. So I'm going to go with the rest of the folks. Okay.
So Cindy mentioned Reginald Gant did a great brand you presentation at BEA.
Okay. That's what's the beauty of what we've got going right now. We can do these webinars, we can come in, we can check out stuff. I think it's wonderful. Practice, practice, practice. We always want people to set measurable goals. So I think with just about any course you give, it should be some measurable goals. By this time next year, I want to be able to do what? I don't know. Okay. But it's excellent. TOC is one of the best ones that I practice. Okay. I practiced a lot with TOC. I would try new titles. I would try new topics. I would try new exercises on TOC. And if it worked with the trainers and the people in training, then I thought, hey, I think I got something going now. Let's see what else we got. This is the sad truth. After all these years, soft skills are often undervalued. Okay. That's, I think organizations assume that people know how to behave on the job. Don't make that assumption. We tend to assume that anyone knows and understands the importance of being on time, taking initiative, being friendly, producing high quality work. We're taking that for, don't you take that for granted. That's why I wrote the book, Workplace Etiquette, and I followed it with Workplace Savvy, the next level. Do not take it for granted. They might have the best technical skills. They may be dressed well. They might not have the tattoos. They're not dyeing their hair, but don't take anything for granted as relates to the soft skills. Okay, let's see what else we got. I thought this interesting, and I decided to put this in my presentation. This came from LinkedIn. And check it out. They said these are in-demand skills. And I thought about it. Look at this, customer service. Customer service impacts the way people do business. Okay. Your customer service skills remain vital. You're selling to people within the organization. Okay. Is in high demand. Also, the whole concept of customer service skills as it relates to you selling yourself. Now look at the second one. I want you to look at that, and I put also independent followership. Leadership is not a skill just for managers. Think in terms of independent followership. These are opportunities to lead, they're opportunities that lead, that present themselves every day to people. One day I might be the follower, one day I might be the leader. Okay. And I have enough sense to be able to determine where I need to be the leader and where I need to be the follower. And I want you to think about that. Let's say I've got problem solving, communication. Well, it's very obvious that even communication skills are still very important in post-COVID.
So Diane, Dina says, in addition to this, she thinks they need to add emotional intelligence, critical thinking skills, and empathy, especially at this time.
I think so too. I totally agree with you. I truly say that with emotional intelligence. Okay. You see, everyone is not going to go back to the workplace. You're going to have some people who are going to work at home. But you're going to have some people that are going to come in, and you got to be ready. Okay, you got to be ready. Okay. What do I have here? Soft skills matter a lot. What are you going to have to rely on? You're going to have to rely on your communication skills that got you through the virus. You got to refocus on employee engagement. It's not exactly going to be the same. There's some people never will touch each other. After 9/11, everyone was hugging each other. And now after the virus, I'm not sure everyone wants to hug. Access and enhance, enhance the organizational culture. Your organizational culture is changing. It will never be as it was before the virus. You have heightened diversity and inclusion focus. You've got to heighten that because it won't be the same. Not with all the things that have gone on. Evaluate and expand your training. And I think it's so simple because in some instances, you can do a lot of things online. And the last piece is to identify virtual workplace, hybrid workplaces. I told you when I worked for the University of Maryland, I came on as a virtual teacher. I wanted to have that experience because I saw things that were changing and I wanted to be ahead of the game. I wasn't sure I could meet the challenge, so I thought I tried here at the university. And it was very interesting because you had to take a 30-day course. No matter how intelligent you thought you were, you had to pass this course if you were going to teach. Okay. Well, not only did I teach the virtual, but I taught the hybrid. And I really like the hybrid. The hybrid is that you meet maybe once or twice a week, and the rest of the time is spent online. And I think that a lot of government organizations are going to go that way. I do want to share something with you. I had made a note on it, and it was about how our workplace is changing. Okay. And I want to go back over 50 years ago. I want you to think about the World Future Society. I'll leave it there. The World Future Society is in Bethesda, Maryland. And there was a futurist, maybe 50 years ago, by the name of Alvin Toffler. And he was an American writer, and he was a futurist. And he did works on the digital revolution. He was the one who talked about information overload. And this is what he said. He had several books, but he talked about a book, The Third Wave. And I'm going to read this to you. He predicted that technology would make it possible for people to work together regardless of where they are or where they lived. In this way, their roles would shift and change constantly. And he hit the mark on this one. And he described in the wave concept of society. And what he said that each wave pushes, I want to go back this one. What he said is that each wave pushes the next wave. And we've been through an agricultural wave. Think about it. We went through the industrial age. And now he says that we are in the middle of what we call the third wave. And the third wave, he says, is the information wave. The third wave is a lot of people call it post-industrial society. Some people call it the information age, information and technology. So we've been moving on. We've been moving on. So what I'm trying to say is the soft skills still matter a lot. The workplace will rely on some soft skills now. I mean, you've got to listen, you got to collaborate, you got to present. Okay? Cutting edge technology is making it so much easier for the tasks that will require hard skills. And now we're looking at some of the softer skills as discriminators in the workplace. And most of all, people want better. People want to be treated better. Okay? People want to be treated better. But I wanted you to hear what Toffler had to say, because I mean, I hadn't thought about it for years. And then I was putting this together and I realized, wow, Toffler hit the mark on this one. He hit the mark on this one. So now here's our discussion. Our discussion's just about over here. This is what we looked at. Definition of soft skills, retitling them, the difference between them, your own, examining your own skills, maybe impacts to employees, soft skill implications to organization. And now I want to know your general thoughts or questions about this presentation. Okay.
So folks, we do have a couple of minutes for a couple of questions. So please feel free to type them in the chat or use the Q&A button. And I know Diane will tackle them. You know, Diane, one of the things Eric Fielding put into the chat is people may never shake hands again. And, you know, I don't know if I want to, if people just realize washing their hands is so important.
Uh-huh. Oh, there's so many nuances to what's going on. We have no clue until we start. Okay? We have no clue. Until we start. There you go.
Well, folks, I want to remind you, we do have a couple minutes left, so we can still take 1 or 2 questions. But Diane will be in her chat, checking in her chat and able to connect with you. You can also connect with her in the speaker section just by clicking on her name and connecting with her there. Dina says, thank you so much for the powerful session.
Oh, yes, and I'm so sorry about we had this issue before with the slides, and I had them today. But everything's cool. Thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you.
All right, folks, so we're gonna sign off for now. Diane, thank you so much. How many AIs is this for you now?
We're gonna make it like just 10. We're just gonna make it 10, but it's more like 15 to 20.
All right, everybody, thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next session. And by the way, don't forget, we have a networking event tonight. If you missed last night's networking event, you really missed out. We had show and tell. And I have no idea what Mike and Michelle have in store for us tonight, but I have a feeling it's going to be good. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye now. Take care. Thank you so much, Doc.